Kirk Johnson. I'm president of the BMW Motorrad Club in Northern Illinois. In this do-it-yourself video, I want to go through the steps to take when changing your own oil on a K bike. This is a 2000 K1200LT, and I'll be going through the various steps and torque values and all that stuff. So I hope that you'll get something out of it. I hope that it'll give you some kind of encouragement to actually get your hands greasy and get under there and do this service yourself. This is something you don't need to go to the dealership and pay $80 for when you can do it yourself, really on the cheap. You know, I think I can change the oil on this bike for under 20 bucks. So anyways, if you appreciate what we're doing here and you'd like to donate to our club, please click the link on the website and do so, and we very much appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Coming down underneath the bike here, you got, this is your oil cover for the oil filter that's up inside here, and this is the drain plug. A lot of guys just pull off this cover and let all the oil just fall out of it. That's really a fine way to do it if you care to do that. I usually use the drain plug just because it's there. Why not use it? So it doesn't take a whole lot of work to do this. It's really just the same as on any other bike. You may have just a thing to note before I really get started here. There may be a bracket mechanism here for those bikes that have an electric center stand. I think like 04 or later or whatever, they have electric center stands, and sometimes you got to pull that bracket out of here. It really just unbolts. There's a little cover and stuff. You just pull it off and you can get to all these things. It's really not a whole lot of extra work. So as most bikes, you know, have it warmed up. Me, I just this bike's been in the garage, so it's pretty much room temperature, but it's ready to just go ahead and change out. I like to wipe off the parts a little bit, make sure everything's okay. Take a look at that seal that's on there, that little seal, make sure there's no big damage or anything that's going to cause a leak. Once I get the majority of it out, then I'll take that other cover off. If any of you, I don't know if you can see this in the video or not, but there's a thing back here, if any of you are wondering what that thing is. That's a big honking magnet is what that is. And I put that down there so it makes sure that I trip all those sensors in the road when you come up to a stoplight and the lights never change. That pretty much changes that for you. You put the cover back on, you just want to make sure the fins are going in the backward direction, or the straight up, you know, straight direction. You could put it on sideways, but it's made to go on just this way. And then when you get this off, you just inspect here. Make sure there's no, you know, big metal particles or anything like that. There's always going to be something here, a little bit of you know, I don't know what, little residue or something from the engine, you know, carbon deposit, stuff like that. But you just don't want to see anything really bright and shiny, like copper color or anything that would indicate that your bearings are going bad. If you keep up on your oil changes, you're not going to have that problem really. But I've definitely seen bikes that have had problems. Sometimes the bikes tip over, you know, they're sitting in a stop sign or you know, at a gas station, and the bike will tip over and it'll be left running instead of somebody reaching up and shutting it off real fast, and it'll smoke the bearings on the crankshaft side if it tips over opposite that direction. So I got my oil filter wrench here. You got to get these cup styles here, these cap filter wrenches. You can get one that will fit specifically for BMW. If you buy it from BMW, you're going to pay a fortune for it, and you might as well just take your bike in at that point. But you can find other ones that will fit. You can go and buy, if you buy a filter from BMW, you can take the filter to the auto parts store, and they usually have like a testing display where you can kind of just test these things out. Anyways, I don't use a BMW filter. I think the filter that's in here is a Bosch. I'm going to be putting a Napa Gold filter in it. It's a number 1348. Alright, I had a little bit of a tool malfunction, so I have another cup now. So, just go in there with it. There we go. Put it back together now. I put the drain plug in already. And just wipe off the little bit of drippings that come out of there. We already cleaned up the other one. At least we'll have to do that prior to putting the filter on. Anyways, you take your filter. I like to peel the labels off the aftermarket filters. The BMW filters don't come with any labels on them, so there's nothing to peel. Do just like you do with any other filter. Just lube up the gasket a little bit. Start threading it in there. The other thing to do prior to putting your filter in is fill it with oil. Since it's straight up and down, that way when you start your engine up the first time, it's not going to have to do any circulating. It's not going to have any kind of a dry start or anything. The oil's already all right there. Alright, we set our torque wrench to 11 Newton meters. So I hope it's set to that. Run that bad boy in. Light that up again. Get that thing on there. Like that. Alright, another cause for the torque wrench. These go down to 10 Newton meters. Alright. The drain plug takes quite a bit more. If you do take the drain plug out, that thing takes 265 inch-pounds or 30 Newton meters. Now we got to fill up the crankcase with oil, and you do that by taking off this right here. This is the fill plug. Right down here is the sight glass. We're going to fill that up till it reaches, I'd like to reach it right about at the top of that red circle that's on there. So I'm not going to get into any debates about which type of oil to use. Use whatever you want. I like to go with, I'll just tell you my preference. I use 2050 in this because I mostly run in the summertime, a little bit in the winter. But if you just look in the book, in your owner's manual, you'll see what it takes and what specification it takes. Whether you run synthetic in here, I personally do not run synthetic in this bike. I've run it in other bikes, not this one, because these older bikes, sometimes they have a tendency to, the rear seal on them will have a tendency sometimes to leak if synthetic is used. So I just use standard dyno oil, whether it's Castrol or advanced motor part stuff. I'll even throw in some of the VR1 racing oil, which has a higher level of zinc in it. I do throw a little bit of that in mine just because I want to think that it helps protect those the camshaft, the solid lifters and stuff on the camshaft. But regardless, like I was telling you before, there's the fairings are gone on here. You don't have to pull the fairings off to do this. You can get to it. There's a hole here. You can get to the fill plug, and you just got to get a funnel of some kind that it's got a flexible hose to it, or make your own, and start filling up. It won't take too long, and you'll see it come up on the sight glass. After it's done draining in there, and run it, and then check it again after you run it for a few minutes. Check it on the center stand and make sure your oil's where it's supposed to be, and you're good to go. And that's how you change oil.